So when I was in high school, I decided that I wanted to become a preacher. And when I told my mother, I thought maybe I wanted to become a preacher when I was all grown up. She said I was being sacrilegious and that I couldn't be a preacher. I had to be a preacher's wife. And I said, why? She said, because we are Baptists. Baptists won't let women be preachers. That's why I walked you down the aisle and gave you to God when you were 3 days old, so you would grow up and marry a preacher. So, I married a man who was an ordained minister. And he beat me. To make a long story short, I ended up becoming agnostic. I knew for sure I wasn't a Baptist because I wanted to be a preacher and they wouldn't let me. And I tried marrying a preacher like my mother wanted. And he was a pedophile. And he hit me a bunch of times. I had to leave because I was afraid for my life. So there I am out in the world trying to figure out how to support myself and raise myself properly. And making a living was not easy. And I was agnostic. I wasn't even sure if I believed in God anymore after all that. So I got a job as a cocktail waitress because it paid pretty good. And one night I was waiting on tables and there was this guy who was ordering rum and coke. And he was drinking a lot of it. And the more he drank, the uglier he got. And before I knew it, he started, I don't know if I was hallucinating or what, but it started looking like he was getting, it looked like his eye teeth were growing, and it looked like his hairline was receding. And before I knew it, it looked like he had little horns coming out of those bald spots where his hair was receding. He was getting scary looking and he was getting mean and he was wanting more and more rum and coke. And the bartender told me I had to cut him off. And I'm going, me? You cut him off. He's mean. Look at him. He's growing horns and fangs. Can you see that? And he said, tell him I said he can't have any more. So I took a deep breath and I went over and I told the guy. Bartender said, you can't have any more. Oh, Lord, I thought he was going to go beat the bartender up. He stood up. Well, fortunately, he had people at the table with him, and one of them said, hey, man, you need to go in the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror. And I thought, oh, thank God I'm not the only one who can see this. I thought I was hallucinating. Well, he must have respected that guy because he went into the bathroom. And he stayed in there a long time, but when he came out, he was white as a sheet and the horns and fangs were gone. And he walked straight over to the table and he said, I need to go home. And everybody at the table with him said, okay, let's take this man home. And they left. And that's when I realized why Baptists don't drink. And they don't call alcohol spirits for nothing. There are spirits that get in people that make people become demonic looking. And so I think there may be something to that spiritual warfare stuff, although Baptists didn't want to talk about that. That may be something important that is going on in the world right now. I think there may be a war between good and evil going on in people, and they're acting it out. And it wasn't enough to make me become a Baptist, because Baptists won't let women become preachers. But it was enough to make me not drink anymore. Because I didn't want to grow horns and fangs like that guy did. And I already knew that if I drank a lot, I would do things, I would become less inhibited, and I would do things that I wouldn't do in a sober state. And sometimes I look back on those things and I was embarrassed about it and had regrets, and I didn't want to accumulate regrets. So, but it did make me give up on the agnosticism. So I had tried to get saved many times as a kid, and I never felt the peace that passes understanding come in my heart, and I never felt like there was any kind of change that went on in myself and my soul and my life that made me feel like I was truly saved. I still had doubts about all that spiritual stuff, even though I really, really didn't want to go to hell and burn forever, that was for sure. But seeing that guy grow horns and fangs made me know for sure which direction I was going to head myself. So in a strange sort of way, seeing a guy manifest a demon took me off the agnosticism path and pointed me on a path to God is love, God is good. And God lives in us as long as we don't let the demons take over. So I guess maybe I was a born believer, because I always knew I wanted the good. I just didn't always have the means to be as good as I would like to have been. But quitting drinking helped. Anyway, that's my thoughts on all that. Like if you like, and subscribe if you will, and you want to. And thank you for watching and hearing my stories. Love you, bye.